good health, no dropped frames, waiting for Twitch TV to activate. And well, we got an ad right now, but I'm fairly certain we're live on Twitch. So let's get the early introductions out of the way yet again. I'm grekaosangel. Welcome to another stream session of Final Fantasy VIII. This is part 16. In the last part, pretty much we've been doing some optional side quests that have now just become available to us as a result of us finally getting Garden to become mobile. So now we can go almost wherever we want, and that's where we're at. In the last episode, or the session of streaming, we finished the CC group quest. We defeated the CC group Heart as well as King, turned out to be Quistis. We got some pretty rare cards, the Carbuncle and the Gilgamesh card. We turned Gilgamesh into 10 Holy Wars. That's important because it makes your character invincible, so it's more useful than the card itself. We also went to the Central Ruins to get the Tonberry King GF, and that's where we kind of sat around for the latter half of the stream. So let's dive right back in, and let's pick up with a few of the things that we can go ahead and get. And the last time I mentioned that although technically Odin is available to us, in fact, we find him by solving a bit of a puzzle of this the same location where we fought the Tonberries and Tonberry King, right here at Centra Ruins. However, his ability to kind of start to randomly come out at the beginning of every battle to instantly kill your enemies is not really the best choice when we're going for low levels. Also, if we acquire Odin now, by the end of Disc 3, we're going to lose him in favor of another GF that does the same thing Odin does, only whenever during battle. So it's even more unpredictable. So if we wanted to get Odin, which we probably will, we'll have to do that on Disc 4. So really, next thing to do is to show you the best place to grind out GF abilities currently. Which is actually right around here. We just gotta kind of make sure that we have our encounter none on Renoa, and we do, so we're not gonna run into any enemies. And what we need to do is we need to find the way back to the desert we saw. Oh, there's Garden. Okay. There is an island that we will only encounter Cactuars on this island, and that's important because they give ridiculous amounts of ridiculous amounts of AP. I think 20 AP a pop. I believe we went the wrong way, but what's interesting is you can actually float the Garden off a cliff, like I said the last time, and you just sort of slowly descend back into the ocean. Now, I believe Cactuar Island, is that island right there. So we just kind of have to make our way around this central southern continent to get to it. But this desert here is kind of important. That will let you know that you're pretty much right there where you need to be. And this is a good place to grind out abilities that you're kind of wanting to get, but you just haven't managed to get yet. After this location, we're going to head over to the Shumi Village, where we'll do a couple of side quests there. We're not going to bother with the Chocobo Forests, just because they're not really something that I'm going to want to deal with. I don't really find the rewards to be completely worth it. I believe it's over here. We want to go... There'll be an area right here. Yep, here we go. You want to look for this beach where you can land the Garden. And there'll be a crack in the mountain, like so, that we're going to kind of navigate through. And that's how we get to this desert over here in this disc. And what's important is you have to kind of see this island right over here. You see the little green guy that just popped up? That's, well, it's going to be another GF at a later point in time. Disc 3 or so. But we're not doing the Chocobo Forests, but we will do the return to Wind Hill to do a little vase kind of quest. I know it doesn't make much sense now, but it will when we get to it. After that, it's just going straight back to the main story, and we're pretty darn close to the end of Disc 2. So the idea is you want to find the desert that says Cactuar Island. If you find that, then you know you're in the right place. You can go ahead and take off your Encounter None ability. If you have it. In this case, I have it. Vitality is going to be a little bit better than anything else. Now, what's interesting, we want to find out various hit percentages. This is very important. Squall's hit percentage is always max. Squall is going to hit his enemy unless he's under certain status effects. Zell, not so much. And Renoir, not so much. So the idea is we want to go ahead and junction to Squall, a very important ability. We don't have any elements. We want to add water, because the Cactuars we'll be fighting are weak to water. Now we're going to go ahead and save. So I'm not quite sure if they give experience or not. They might give very little experience or none. And we just want to make sure that we're not going to be gaining levels, because that's something we want to kind of avoid still. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and make sure that we have all the necessary abilities that we want to learn on all of our GFs. Leviathan, Magic Junction, that's what we want, yes. Tonberry, we're going to start off with the big ones, just because it's kind of the best thing we need, because this will actually allow us to do an infinite guild trick in Disc 3. So we're looking pretty good. Now all we have to do is essentially run around this desert. As long as we encounter Cactuars, we should always encounter them. But they're very hard to hit. So that's why Squall's coming in here. And yeah. Damn you. The hope is that we eventually get to fight them. Because all it takes is one hit from Squall with their weakness to water of, I think, 2 or 2.5, almost 3 times. This one might be one that doesn't run away. Don't you dare run, you dude. Now, do we get experience for that? I would hope not, but we probably will. 8 experience. That's amazing. This is why this is a good place to train, because you're so not going to be leveling up. And 20 AP goes a long way. So this is a good place. We just want to find the one where it's just the one Cactuar, and then we're pretty much good to go. So we're going to go ahead and change Siren, I believe, is the one that learned her next ability. So we'll go here to Summon Magic, 20% increase. And we'll do this for a while. I'm not quite sure how long. I guess it just kind of depends. Ooh. Ooh. Daring. Now I'm curious to know if we're going to get 40 AP for killing 2 of them. We should. That makes sense. Yes. Nice. This is a good place. It doesn't take more than 1 or 2 hits. and the battle's over. I like this. I can't believe I never knew about this before I did this stream. Alright, Shiva, what do you need to learn? Doom? But we'll leave Summon Magic 10%. And who's next? We'll go ahead and jump in Elemental Attack. Alright. The hope is that they don't always escape. So Brothers is the next one. Let's give him Elemental Defense. I think I want to stay around this edge here. Simply because I think we won't fight 3 of them. Only 1 or 2. And this is where I guess if you have the initiative skill, that if Squall had that, then you pretty much guarantee he'll probably go first. But as it is, I think this is fine. I suppose I should see what a Cactus Thorn refines into, since we're going to be getting quite a lot of them. Oh, we'll go ahead and go with Doom. And we'll go ahead and summon magic 30%. What I'll probably do is every 5-10 minutes I'll save, just so we keep our progress. And of course they both escaped. That's alright. Now that's the one thing I wish that this game actually had, is that if we are able to cut your encounters in half and even reduce them to no encounters. Drats. Why is it that there's no ability to increase the amount of random battles you get into? I mean, Bravely Default did it, so I know that it's got to be something that Square Enix has thought of in the past, but if you're going to go ahead and decrease the number of battles, you should at least be able to increase them. But then again, if you do a game like this where you kind of don't want to level up because you're going to be increasing the difficulty on yourself for the enemies, I guess it makes sense. We're going to go ahead and learn Dark Side since that's on this page. Status attack would be nice. And we're almost done with one of the main crucial abilities we need to get on Tonberry. Don't you dare run from me, you son of a... Okay. You wanna play like that? Okay. Eventually I'm gonna get you. Like that. we've hit 15 minutes. I'm going to save after we switch our things just because I want to do that every so often. I believe Boost is the last thing that Quetzalcoatl can learn. I believe if you've reached the maximum abilities that a GF can learn, you can actually go ahead and forget certain skills in order to make room for others. I don't know off the top of my head what it is that is required to do that, but I think we're fine for the time being. Because we're not going to be getting any new GFs for a while. At least until we get to until we get back to the main story, at least. Ho ho! I don't even need water in my junction, man. If they go down at 1200, ooh. Okay then. Not to say that she's going to hit every single time, she'll probably miss a few times, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So, we've learned everything we can on Quetzalcoatl. We're almost done with Shiva. Almost done with Ifrit. Brothers. We'll go with that. And we want to go with Call Shop. That's very important. Hey Conan Petty, welcome back to another stream. How's it going? Nice weather in the Bahamas tonight? Afternoon. I'm not exactly sure what time zone you're on. But we're definitely going to start... Well, we'll go with Haggle first, and then Call Shop, because we do want to get some pretty nice discounts. You're not escaping me this time, you prickly bastard. Dare run from me. Yes, yes, challenge me, you stupid little thing. Ah, I did not know that the Bahamas shared our time zones. But yeah, it's 6:50 in the afternoon, or evening, I guess, where I live. I live northern United States. Alright, so that are done. Shiva still has to learn one ability. Ifrit's done learning. Siren, pretty much almost done. Diablos. Let's start doing the from the top there. And let's go ahead and jump down to the recover options here. Well, we'll do Spirit 20%. We'll do the smaller ones that are easier to quickly get. No, we're actually not leveling. What we're doing is this is a good place on disc 2 to level your abilities for your GFs. The Cactuars only give about 4 to 8 points of experience when you defeat them. So you don't get a lot of experience for killing them, so you're not going to level your main party up. But you get cactus thorns as items. I'm not exactly sure what they refine into just off the top of my head. But each Cactuar you defeat gives you 20 AP to your GF's abilities. So you can very, very quickly gain the abilities you're pretty much missing in a very short period of time, especially since if you get to the Cactuar Island, which is just off this little shallow distance here, this part of this island, or this part of this continent that says Cactuar Island, you only encounter Cactuars. The only problem with those, with fighting them, is their insane evasion and the tendency to escape battles. But since Squall has a 255% chance of hit, he's going to kill them right off the bat. As long as he gets a turn in, we're going to kill him, we're going to get the experience. And I'm only going to do this for a short period of time. Maybe another 10-15 minutes. Once we get the main important abilities on our GFs, then we're going to go off to a few other side quests. And if there's time, we might jump right back into the main story. But ideally, I'm trying to do everything I can to avoid leveling. Yeah, the advantage is they're not really strong. Since they're a bit of a coward, they're going to be running away a lot. You can encounter them in groups of 1, 2, and 3. So if you're quick enough, you can get between 20 and 60 AP a battle. And the battles don't take a very long time, which is nice. Alright, so she's learning that. We'll do stash defense next. But it's really good since we're doing a sort of low-level game. We're only level 11, or at least Squall and Renoa and Cell are only level 11 right now. So the less levels I gain, the better things are going to be. Let's just see. Done. Almost done. Done. Alright, let's go with 80% here. That's what we want. And let's go Spirit 40%. 2 more battles, or possibly 1. We'll be moving on with Tonberry as well. But pretty much after, let's see, after 2 more side quests, we've got the last bit of the plot, and then we're done with disc 2, and we're really close to the end of the game at that point, because we got disc 3, and that's very easy to get through in terms of there's a lot to do, but not a lot to do. Who do I think is more edgy, Cloud or Squall? Edgy in what way? I guess is what I really need, a little bit more information as to what exactly you want in terms of my thoughts. Because they're both different characters in their respective games. They've kind of changed as they make appearances in other series. Excellent, 3 of them. Let's just see if I can't nab them. Dang it. Ah. Alright, so now that we've got that, I think the most important one we want is, well, we also want sell high. So, call shop, we want to get that next. More irritable. I'm gonna go ahead and say, that's tough. I'm gonna say irritable, I'd go with Squall, but not like he's... Cloud also has tendencies of well, let's look at the... I'll look at the character's overall progression in both games. We're just looking at the original games, 7 and 8 here. In the beginning, I would say no. I can't even lie. Pun definitely intended. Squall is the more prickly of the two. Just in the sense that he's very introverted. He's not really wanting to talk. He's very quiet, irritable. Would be a good way of putting it. Cloud, on the other hand, is more... Very early on, he's more... I would say apathetic. Not really interested in everything. Just kind of doing it for the money kind of deal. Damn it, don't run away from me. At least that one's staying. As the games progress, both characters undergo changes, as would be expected of a typical story arc for a game, an RPG and such. Squall definitely opens up. He starts getting that innate fear of being alone, that maybe being a lone wolf is not really the best choice for him. So he definitely improves on the irritability to the more friendly side of things. And Cloud does that too, but Cloud has a little bit more difficult situation throughout 7, as he's not exactly sure what's going on with him. Because obviously there's something up with Cloud's memories. For those who have never played 7, we might be entering into a little bit of spoiler territory. I'm going to try to keep it as vague as possible. It definitely seems to me that as Cloud is struggling, Cloud's more apathetic and distant from everybody just because he's distant from himself in a weird way. And it isn't until he actually starts figuring things out that he realizes how much friendship means to him and the party and the experiences that they've gone through. Squall's sort of like that. Like I said, he's kind of real difficult in the beginning, but he begins to open up. Different reasons behind both characters, but they kind of follow the same sort of trajectory for their character arcs. In other games, though, this is where Squall doesn't get as much attention. Squall definitely stays more true to character, I think, in his various appearances, whereas Cloud has kind of gotten that notorious, sort of infamous emo-esque kind of treatment that just isn't present really in the original game. But in Kingdom Hearts, for instance, Squall's a lot more likely to help Sora, and Cloud's a lot more focused on battling his inner demons. Which I guess, in a lot of ways, kind of makes sense. because there's a completely different shift from 7 to 8. You know, Sephiroth is really not ever really going to be gone in a weird way, whereas I can't even mention the whole end game for this game, but it's really different for 8 in terms of the whole plot of the story and enemy and villain kind of situation. But that's my take on it. I mean, I like most iterations of the characters. I think Square does a decent enough job making them recognizable. But at the same time, they're also known for kind of doing their own thing and just kind of messing it up. I'll be able to check it in just a second. I think it's cutting shear. It's not the flame saber, I'm almost certain. I think it's the very next gunblade you can get above the basic one. In fact, Squall's the only one that currently is equipped with a different weapon. Cutting trigger, that's what it is, not cutting shear. Everybody else is just having their basic starting weapon. Pinwheel for Renoa. Maverick, I might have upgraded him, I'm not exactly certain, but I don't think I did. I like the design as well, but I really don't have, I don't believe I have the ingredients just yet for increasing to another weapon. It's not his best weapon, but I dig it. I think it fits the his character type a little bit better than the regular gunblade, and it's very reminiscent of, if you played Final Fantasy VII, there's a weapon for Cloud that I really dig. It's called the Organics. It's sort of an all-black blade that also has those really kind of spiky protrusions all over the place. It's kind of a cool weapon. It's not a weak weapon by any standards, but it's kind of cool looking. Haha, you're not getting away this time. Do you have a preferred handle or abbreviation of your username, Conan Petty? Do you prefer Conan, K Petty? I mean, if there's something more preferred you'd like for me to reference you, I'd be more than happy to shorten some abbreviations there. It's gonna escape, I know it is. Come on, don't run away. Yes! Haha, I got him. We should be getting close to getting the call shop ability. Okay, one more. Conan. That's what I figured. I figured that was the correct, again, pun intended, junctioning of the two words into your username. Okay, so in terms of what we absolutely have to accomplish before we're done doing this little ability grind, I have to at least get Sell High. So that's we're kind of winding down here on what we need. The spirit bonus would be nice to have. We're not quite done, but we're getting there with carbon coal. Got all the necessary stuff. We'll aim for mug, because it'd be nice to be able to steal some stuff. HP bonus again, we'll do that with brothers. The other ones are all kind of there, so we're gonna go ahead and save. Another 5-10 minutes tops, and we'll be moving on to another different side quest. I mean, this isn't really a side quest, but we'll be doing some other different things. I guess here's a question for you, Conan. Have you played other Final Fantasies? Have you played the series other than like Kingdom Hearts? Or more specifically, do you have a favorite game in the series? Because you obviously know Cloud and you know Squall. How familiar are you with the overall base series? Just so I kind of get a feel for kind of your background in at least this range of RPGs. Don't run. Aha. Okay. Okay. So you've obviously played the Kingdom Hearts, which is where you probably draw a lot of your information from the characters. So I guess my next question would be, actually Dissidia is a pretty decent take on the characters, so that actually gives you a really good window into each character. I think they did a really good job with Dissidia, both Dissidias actually. It was one of those games where it kind of came out of left field. Sort of like a fighting game, but with RPG elements for Final Fantasy characters, villains, and heroes. That's kind of cool. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with never playing a Final Fantasy game. They're not everybody's cup of tea. Certainly nowadays they're kind of outdated, which is kind of why I like them still. Pretty much anything pre-PS2 era is a lot of fun. But since you've never played any of the games in the series, if I were to make a suggestion as to certain games to play and definitely avoid, if you ever get the chance, I would highly recommend playing the first Final Fantasy. You can skip the second one. Both have various different editions. You can get one for the PlayStation 1 called Final Fantasy Origins. I know that the PSP did a nice remake, as well as they're also available on the Google Play Android market, and I believe for iOS as well. Fun fact, I also just learned that Final Fantasy VII was just released on the Apple platform, the iOS. It's the same version that you get off of Steam, which is just a remastered, well, a retooling of the PC version. But that's interesting. But you should definitely, if you ever in my personal opinion, Final Fantasy IX is definitely one of the best Final Fantasies, but it's all going to depend on what suits your style. Even though Final Fantasy IX was the first Final Fantasy I ever owned, it's not the first Final Fantasy I ever played. So there's this ongoing theory, you know, the rose-tinted goggles, glasses, nostalgia value, that the first Final Fantasy is always your favorite. That's not necessarily true. I'm an example of that. My favorite is Final Fantasy VII, but 9 and 7 are easily interchangeable depending on my mood. The thing that made Final Fantasy IX great is the homage to all of the Final Fantasies and other games that aren't even Final Fantasy, that are hidden within its story and its environment and the world that it creates. So much so that when Sakaguchi wanted to make it, they made it based, most of it was made in Hawaii, where Sakaguchi lived. You can definitely tell in some of the locales and some of the situations you find yourself in. But what's really cool is he wanted it to be a send-off to all the Final Fantasies in the past. So that you have a lot of little subtle things that are taken from all the other Final Fantasies to create this really soulful, really amazing combination of concepts and lore and little Easter eggs that you just, I mean, if you get the chance, I don't know the link off the top of my head, but you can probably Google a list of all of the alliterations and references, not alliteration, the allusions to all the other Final Fantasies, and it's quite astounding. I mean, you got stuff from Parasite Eve, Resident Evil, obviously I think there's some Dragon Quest related stuff. There's just a bunch of stuff. What's cool about it, there's a few things you have to know about it though. If you're going into it blind, you might have to keep an open mind as towards the artistic style. Some people don't really like the almost chibi-esque sort of childish, I wouldn't call it childish, but some people do call it childish character models. And the battle system is by far the slowest in the series. It's bad. It really is bad in terms of the speed of the battle system. Which, if you can get past that, it's not bad. It's got a card-based system like Triple Triad. It's called Tetramaster. It's a little bit harder to grasp because whereas Triple Triad has those 4-digit numbers for each corner or each side of the card, Tetramaster does not have that. What Tetramaster has is the same concept, only I believe it's hexadecimal and binary kind of stuff. So you might have the letter A or 0A or 0F or something like that, or FF, that you would think is really strong, but those values are subjective. There is a range of numbers that a card could potentially have. And they do something a little bit different. Your abilities and skills all come off of your equipment. So when you have a certain thing equipped, you'll start gaining AP towards that ability, and once you learn it, you keep it. But you gotta be careful on that. Only certain things teach certain things. Alright, since we already learned that, I guess the only thing we kind of want to work towards is... we'll work towards initiative. We're kind of done with that there. Done with that there. We're going to get Mug and then we'll be done. And the only other thing I'd warn you about in terms of Final Fantasy IX, it plays very close to a job class system. It's not a job class system, but each of the main characters clearly has a defined role in terms of what they have abilities-wise. So it's not as free-flowing as 7 was with the materia system, and it's definitely not as completely customizable as the junction system as well. It's more strictly like one character is clearly the warrior or the knight. One character is clearly the thief. One's clearly a white mage. One's a black mage. You know, the dragoon, that kind of deal. Which adds enough... it really gives each character a separate identity, and that works well. The only thing I'd warn you about is the trance system. Again, this is very closely linked to what items you have equipped. You have a bar, much like you did in 7 with your limit. When you reach that, you don't have a choice of using it or not. Once you hit trance, your characters go into this sort of like really cool shiny form that they now gain these abilities to do stuff. Like one character has this really cool ability, one person does this, one person does that differently. That's really cool, very helpful, but you can't save it. You kind of use it in every turn that goes since you've turned into trance. You'll use more and more of your bar until it depletes. And that's where some people got a lot of complaints on it. But other than that, it is, if you're looking to start Final Fantasy, 9's not a bad place to start. You won't get a lot of the references that are hidden in it, but it'll be a good place to start. Yes, yes. The deal with Sephiroth and Cloud in Kingdom Hearts, the whole darkness and light situation, I wouldn't call it a lie. I would say it's more of a matter of... I'd say it's a philosophical kind of thing. Kingdom Hearts was an amazing surprise when it first came out back in 2001, 2002, something like that. I remember seeing on the television a commercial for this Disney thing, and then out of the corner of my eye, boom, there's Sephiroth. What? Final Fantasy and Disney? No one would have thought that that would be such an amazing pair, and it's become like a juggernaut in its own right. A lot of spin-offs, but it's not bad. Final Fantasy is really, if you really want to get the whole gist of the story, you should really go back and play them. Back to what I was trying to, and I'm distracting myself as well. You should definitely, if you're going to play them and you want to eventually do them, there's a few you definitely need to hit. You need to hit 1, obviously, to get where the whole thing comes from. You want to hit 4 and 6. If you can't hit 4, you definitely want to hit 6. You'll see a lot of similarities between 6 and 7, so you want to hit 7. 8's optional, 9 is a definite must. Anything beyond that's sort of up to you. 2 is a huge departure from the original, and a lot of weird systems, kind of experimental. You can skip that. 3 is only available for the DS, because when it came out in the United States, 3 was actually 6. 5, I found a lot of things to enjoy in 5, but it's probably got the best job class system out of all the Final Fantasies. 8 was obviously very divisive. not divisive, very dividing in the fan base due to its experimentation in virtually everything. And 10 kind of took things in a new direction with the voice acting and all that, which I've talked about in the past, how voice acting has kind of hurt the series. Alright, we're done here. We can go ahead and... well, we don't even need to heal. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts is just enough to get your toes wet into the whole theory of the thing. Sephiroth and Cloud are both part of Soldier, which is in Final Fantasy VII. It's a sort of super soldier sort of military group. Sephiroth really represents Cloud's struggles. He's really the antagonist. He's really, honestly, if you owe it to yourself to play 7. If you can get past the pretty bad translation errors that it had, there's an immensely deep lore for that story that to this day is very fun to theorize over and talk about. It's one of the reasons why on Game FAQs 7 has never been out of the top 100 list of their top 100 games in almost 20 years. It's something else. It's still got a very strong community. Obviously a strong fan base because we're getting the remake. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts definitely does not do it justice. If you're not going to play the games, I would check out like Final Fantasy Wiki. If I can talk, Final Fantasy Wikia.com will find a lot of the story synopsises and character histories. So it'll make for a very interesting read. Okay, so basically, now that we're done doing some GF ability grinding, we're moving on to the Shumi Village quests, which is all the way up here. I don't know if it's, yep, right there, Shumi Village. You'll know what it looks like. It kind of looks like a giant igloo, not an igloo, but like a whaling tent or an Eskimo tent, kind of giant place. You can also find one of the first chocobo forests right nearby, but again, we're not going to be touching base on that. It's just going to be a matter if I can actually find my point of land, where I'm going to land and get onto the area with. I know there's a beach somewhere around here. See where it is. I think it's... there it is. Gotta go around this little peninsula here. There's Dolette. Where did I go? Did I get myself... no, it's over here. I believe that's one of the chocobo forests there. Shumi Village is somewhere off to the... am I on the wrong one? I am on the wrong dam. Dang it. Okay, let me try and break down your analysis a little bit, so I can kind of make sense of it. I'm gonna repeat it back, so I kind of have to talk out loud here. Is there a... Okay, there's a path through here. Cloud and Sephiroth's rivalry seems stronger than Final Fantasies. I'm assuming you mean in Final Fantasy VII, as opposed to Kingdom Hearts. According to research, Cloud kills. You don't have it quite right. This is Shumi Village right here, so we're gonna go ahead and exit. Again, this is kind of getting into spoiler territory. Basic backstory. Jenova is an alien that Shinra finds. They mistaken it for this ancient race of people. They want to create superpowered soldiers with their abilities of this ancient race, so they do the experiments. Sephiroth is created. From there, Sephiroth grows up, you know, he's a super soldier, you know, all this stuff. When he finally goes on a mission to his hometown, or Cloud's hometown, he discovers the origin of his creation. Kind of drives him mad, burns down the town, the classic scene we've all seen. He finds Jenova, you know, little secret. Cloud beats him, you know, complete kind of surprise hit. Sephiroth falls into the live stream. His body's destroyed. Years go by, absorbs knowledge, ends up back in his final place, up north in the northern crater. But when he falls into it, he has Jenova's head with him. So over the time, he learns to control the Jenova cells that make up his body, since he is literally different than everybody else. Jenova cells were pretty much given to him in the womb. He developed with them. He gains the power. He takes control of Jenova and all those with her cells. And the Sephiroth you see throughout the game is actually just Jenova under Sephiroth's control, taking his image. So the real Sephiroth is in one location the whole game, and there's this real interesting plot twist when you find out why Cloud has been chasing after Sephiroth. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. There's a lot of lore and history in it. You'd have to read on it or play the game, but it's people tend to get confused about that. And the bad translation errors just doesn't help it. But a lot of times, if you pay attention to the main game as you go through it, you should get a pretty good picture of it. Okay, so here we are in the Shumi Village. These guys over here will pretty much allow us to use this draw point, but we have to pay, I think, 5,000 if we want to draw from it. Yes. 5,000 gil in advance. That's fine. We've got over... What do we have? We have over 500? We have over 500,000 gil. We can easily go there. It's Ultima. We're going to go ahead and draw on Squall. And what we want to do is wait for that to recharge, because then we're going to get quite a bit the next time. Oh no, you don't know me in any way, shape, or form. It's not really being lied to, it's just that Kingdom Hearts can't really develop the characters that they're just kind of bringing in as cameos. And it's really more of a, like, for the fans of the Final Fantasy series to play Kingdom Hearts, hey look, here's your favorite character. In a lot of ways, they kind of twist and contort them a little bit, so it does annoy some fans, but there's nothing wrong. Ignorance is nothing to be ashamed of. If you, I would recommend playing the games, or at least reading up on them, if you want to know exactly how things have been twisted or changed. And if you think of it, it's a completely different game series, different complete franchise. You can even consider it a different universe altogether. So there's nothing wrong with how they present them in Final Fantasy versus Kingdom Hearts or any other game that they're found in. Okay, so junction system. let's see, what do we have in terms of... How many Ultimas do we have at this point? 19. So we'll go do this, and by the time we come back out, we should have some more. I don't know if you have a game FAQs account. What I would recommend, if you're really interested in kind of learning the lore without actually playing the games, if you want to go that route, which is perfectly fine, if you have an account, jump on some of those boards for the games, specifically the PlayStation boards for the games you're interested in, and just, you know, view some topics there, participate. It's amazing how much the games can be decomposed and broken down and analyzed. It's a really unique community. Okay, so basically what we've done in Shumi Village, we found the ultimate draw point, which costs 5,000 gil per draw. What we're here to do is a stone quest to get some stuff. So we're gonna first let's see. I think we have to talk to a specific someone. Yuffie is from Final Fantasy VII. Squall is from Final Fantasy VIII. So in their respective franchise, they've never met. Completely different games. And that's kind of where Kingdom Hearts just kind of mashes everything together. Here's a save point. But if you want to look at the Kingdom Hearts series as a different universe altogether, there's nothing wrong with going that route. I don't think this guide gives us any useful information. I don't think we can go in that building. Nope. Keep moving on. There's another draw point, which I don't believe we can get to until the Moomba is out of our way. So we want to avoid that area. In one of these houses, we'll meet the artisan. Which, if you remember from the Fisherman's Horizon, the one shop owner said he got a Moomba doll. This is it from the artisan. They kind of have, you know, things in common. Looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks like Laguna. So we're going to say okay. See, that's kind of cool. That's why when someone was asked about if Norg had evolved, this is one of the things. Shumis can become Moombas, and Moombas are so awesome. I wish we got some more stuff with them. God, I really want to have like some sort of plush or figure or something. They're really cool. I love their design. I have to agree, they're pretty damn cool. Alright. For Raga, might as well draw it, no point in not drawing it. So off to the Elder we go. Oh, it's so cute. What do we have over here? Lizaga, which I think we... Well, we'll go ahead and increase whatever instruction to for her. Save, since I'm certain we're going to have quite a bit of dialogue. In a sense. Fair point. Surprised that they're able to build a statue of him without having seen him in almost 20 years. Trying to see if there's a way. Okay, so now we're about to begin the stone quest. So once we get back there, they're going to tell us they need some stones. I believe there is 6 of them altogether. Yes, 6 of them. It's going to be a bunch of back and forth kind of running around once we do acquire them all, though. Okay, so this is where we need to go acquire some stones. Okay, so the blue stone is found over here by the statue. Okay. The wind is next to the hotel, which is all the way back near the beginning. Now the only thing I'm unsure of is if we can actually acquire all of them or to do them in order. So Final Fantasy VIII, you mean? There we go. Alright, I think we actually have to go back and talk to the sculptor in order to get the next clue as to which one we had to get next. Courtesy of Steam and the PlayStation Network, you can actually, if you own any modern PlayStation system, you can download it off of the PSN, except for on the PS4. You can't play it on the PS4. It has to be PS3. Or if you have Steam, you're able to purchase the PC version off of Steam and play it that way. Okay, life stones are found at the roots of the Mayor House. I'm assuming that that's different from the Elder's house. I'm not even sure what this... Probably find out what this house is. Go ahead and read the Timber Maniacs. I didn't want to get dragged into a giant conversation piece, but okay. Alright, we'll come back to him. We actually do have to come back to him to get another stone, so let's try and find the roots that they're going on about. There it is. So it is in fact the Elder's house, not the Mayor's house. Alright, back we go. Okay, shadow stones are found up top near the ultimate draw point, which, considering how long we've been down here and talking and running about, we should be able to draw from yet again. Go ahead and save while we're at it. And of course, the longer you leave a draw point to refill itself, the more you'll get from them. So in all likelihood, what we probably shouldn't do is draw from Ultima again, simply because we'll probably get a slightly smaller amount of them. Whereas if we wait till we're completely done, then we'll actually probably get more. Alright. And I believe... Here we go. So now we got the Shadow Stone. Well, I can agree that profanity has sometimes, in my personal opinion, it does have its place. It depends on how it's used. If I'm frustrated in the game, I'm going to cuss. It's just second nature. I try not to unless I'm really frustrated. But again, I would say it depends on how it's used. But to each his own. There's that's what makes the world go round. As cliche as a line that is, cussing for the sake of being shocking is not really the route to go. When I do a game like this, any game really, whether it's a stream nowadays or a Let's Play, I try to be as informative as I can, because I think that's more interesting to discuss the lore behind certain things and learn something, not just watch something entertaining. Some people, however, really dig the ridiculous, stupid jokes and funny voices, and it's not my cup of tea. It's not the way I choose to do things. But everybody can do whatever they want, see whatever they want, watch whatever they want, Okay, there are two water stones. There's one by the pond with the frog, and the real one will be in the artisan's kitchen. I know there's a way. Do I kind of go over? I think we're going to have to show it to him for him to tell us it's fake. And then we have to go get the real one. Okay. The correct water stone will be in the kitchen of the artisan, which I think is right here. Okay. Now I believe that our gift is something known as the Shumi handshake, which is kind of a running gag joke quest in a way. Huh. Okay, now this is actually useful. The Phoenix Pinion, once used in battle, will summon Phoenix. Once you have summoned Phoenix, and what it essentially does it, I believe it revives your entire party and deals fire damage to the enemy. At least that's what it does in some other games. But it's mostly used to revive your fallen comrades. Once you have used Phoenix one time, you don't get it like you do normal GF. What happens is, whenever you have a game over scenario, there is a 12.5% chance that Phoenix will show up, reviving your party. Now, that's about 1 in 8, a 1/8 chance that every time you get a game over, you'll not actually get a game over. But it's kind of cool. Okay, so we need to, this is important. We have to choose to explain what it meant. Which kind of shows you how far off Norg actually is from these people. No. Them's the breaks. I was gonna say, you better let me save. Okay. Pretty much, now that we've got that, we need to head back to the workshop, where we're going to want to talk to attendant And this is the part where, even though we've been going back and forth, we're going to have to do a lot of back and forth, talking to one person, then going to the next person, then back to the other person, and so on and so forth. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. You already told me that. Question is, when does he appear in the workshop? Okay. So let's head back to the Elder's home and see if we can't, well, if we can't figure this out. Yes, yeah. Oh, you know what? I think we're supposed to sleep at the hotel. I may be mistaken. But that would potentially make sense. Yes. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and save. I think we have just enough time to push through and get this side quest done, and if we're lucky, do the Windhill quest done as well, so that all we have to do starting the next stream is jump right back into the story and hopefully finish the disc. You better be here. Nothing. Dang it. Yes, I know. Alright, let's... Alright. So let's try this again. He's not in the workshop. So... I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. So we talked to the attendant. We've already talked to the elder. I wonder if we can talk to the Moomba. Let's see. If we'll just talk to everybody once. We'll leave. We'll come back, and if nothing's changed, then we're just gonna have to move on because I'm not. I wrote down notes, but nothing really is getting anywhere. Gosh. Alright, we're gonna leave the village. And then we're gonna get back to the world map, come back in, go that route, see if that's going to change anything. Okay, anything else you'd like to say? Alright. Because, see, the attendant should be at the workshop, but he's not. So I'm thinking we have to do something to trigger that. And the only thing I can think of to do that is to actually go ahead and leave the village, get back onto the world map, then jump right back in. Maybe that will have changed something. Now it's important that we try and accomplish this in the sense that if we want to get a really good item, we have to do this little ridiculous quest. However, I'm not quite sure if I'm even going to be able to get it to go. It's also interesting how a lot of the background music for these areas in 8 sounds so much like Final Fantasy VII. Yes, we would like to purchase the chance to draw Ultima. Yeah, see, we've got a nice stock of them now. %33 elemental defense on everything, that's nice. Alright, in we go. Alright, we're going to head to the workshop, and this is either going to work or it's not going to work. Either way, we're pretty much done with Shumi Village after this. Oh, there he is. That's all we had to do was leave the village and come back. Okay, so now that we've talked to the attendant in the workshop, we are going to go talk to the elder. Okay. Now we're going to talk to the Moomba waiting outside. Now we're going to go back to the attendant and talk to him again in the workshop. Alright, we want to talk to the attendant. Now we're going to go head off and talk to Moomba, talk to attendant, talk to the elder again. So much back and forth. It's like a freaking fetch quest in like an MMO. So irritating. But it's worth it, I guess. Shot. Okay, now we want to go talk to the attendant again. Alright. We're not going to go... So we talked to the Moomba attendant, elder attendant, now we have to talk to the artisan. Okay, now we're going to talk to the elder. And then we have to go on a little bit of a journey back to Fisherman's Horizon. Okay. So, we must acquire the Moomba doll that we discovered at Fisherman's Horizon. Which I believe, thankfully, is just due south from where we currently are. But it's going to be slow going, and I believe that we're probably only going to have enough time to finish this particular side quest. But before the stream is over, I'm going to be sure to kind of showcase why we got some of the abilities that we bothered to get at the very beginning of the stream and why they're kind of important. Maybe not important, but why we actually wanted to acquire them at this point in time. Where's our garden? So let's see, the beach is up here near the top. I believe I want to go through this little area here. I want to head due south. I don't believe that we can choose. Yeah, we can't choose to automatically go there. We have to actually drive ourselves. Sail ourselves, I guess. We want to avoid Balam for the moment. There it is. Okay, I wonder if the... No, I doubt that the cafeteria's sun is there. I think we missed that somehow in the last attempt to go through Fisherman's Horizon. Oh well. Ooh, that's creepy. Alright, now that we have the Moomba doll, we can head back to Shumi Village, and that should be almost all that we need to finish the quest. And after that, we will call it quits for this particular stream session. And I suppose I'll have to weigh the options of doing the Windhill quest versus not doing it at the beginning of the next stream. The only thing I dislike about leaving Fisherman's Horizon is you can't like jump right back to the bridge. You have to go through this long process of screen after screen after screen just to leave. Alright. Yep, we're good to go with our team. Alright, we're going to back up, turn ourselves around. And back up to the north we go. Not quite there. It's kind of hard to see that you can actually make your way through this. Alright. Whoa. Yep, there's Master Fisherman. Shot. Although how he managed to get back to the village before we did is kind of mysterious. Okay, now we need to talk to the elder, and that should be that. Status guard. What this does is teaches stash defense junction times 4. So I guess all we're going to do is we're actually going to well, let's draw from this Blizzaga point. We will rest, we will save, we will check the workshop. If nothing's changed, then I believe we're done. We'll head back up, draw from Ultima one more time, get back to the world map, and we'll have to leave the final optional quest that we're actually going to probably maybe try doing till the very beginning of the next stream. Simply because I know that we are the item we'll get for completing it will allow us to get Holy, which I do not believe we have any yet. If the statue is not done, which I don't believe it is, we'll have to come back a later time. Possibly disc 4, I'm not certain. Disc 3 maybe? We'll see. Or we might never get to see it, I'm not exactly certain. But that's it for the Shumi Village. The only other side quest that I was going to do was the Wind Hill vase or vase quest. Basically we had to find pieces of a vase to repair it, restore it for the owner. The basic gift reward that we get out of it is well, we'll get a holy stone, which I think we can refine into holy magic. We can also get a phoenix pinion and some Gishel greens. But I'm not exactly certain how long and how much dialogue is involved. And I really don't like pushing beyond 2 hours for a particular stream. So once we get out here, draw Ultima, do a little bit of things here, we'll be done. And assuming that the Windhell quest is quick, we will do that the next stream before jumping back into and probably pushing forward to finish Disc 2. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on that. Okay, so once we get back to the world map, we'll go ahead and show what the real value of getting some of the Tonberry's abilities were really important for. Okay. The important thing is, what we wanted to do is we needed to call shop. We can pretty much call them from wherever, and thus we can now buy tents for a lot cheaper than what we could previously. Come down here to recovery medicine refine. Refine that into 31 25 mega potions. Now I don't believe we have we don't yet have the ability to increase items into something better, so that's fine. But we will get a point, an ability where we can actually up the value and effectiveness of items. So we'll just come back here, sell him. Where is it? Mega potions. We'll simply sell 25 of them. So now we've gained significantly more. Previously we'd only get 125,000, now we get almost 200,000. Very, very easy to do. Go ahead and buy some tents. I don't think we can do the weapon shops. But also I want to know, what do we get for cactus thorns? Cactus thorn is on page 5. We can get demolition ammo. That's nice. We can get doesn't look like we can get much else from it. Well, alright, whatever. But we're good to go, so we're going to go ahead and save, call it quits for the stream. I want to give a big shout out to Conan Petty for joining me throughout most of it. Providing very interesting topics of conversation. Kept me very entertained, and hopefully I provided you with a good source of entertainment as well during that bit of a grind fest that we had. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching on the stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching on YouTube. I'm grekaosangel. Thanks for watching my stream of Final Fantasy VIII. If you're checking this out on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like and comment on the video below. If you want to keep in touch, keep an idea of when I'm going to be doing more updates, more streams, when they go live, follow me on Twitch TV and or Twitter for various updates and notifications. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all next time on the next stream of Final Fantasy VIII.